everyone, welcome back to Technolazy YouTube channel. In today's session, we will be discussing the top 35 important questions on Informatica. These questions are organized and drafted after conducting a serious survey with the HRs and recruiting managers from top organizations. So these top 35 interview questions will be beneficial even if you're a beginner or if you're an intermediate candidate or if you're an experienced candidate. These questions are one of the most frequently asked questions. So, going through these questions will ensure that you are on the safer side on your upcoming interview. But before we get started, I would also like to disclose that we will be discussing the top 10 tips that will help you to crack your interview in the first trial. Now, before we get started, if these are the type of videos that you would like to watch, then hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to never miss an update from Technology. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the first question. What is Informatica PowerCenter? The answer for this question is Informatica PowerCenter is an ETL tool or data ingestion tool that has a wide range of applications. This tool allows users to connect and fetch data from different heterogeneous sources and subsequently process the same. So Informatica is one of the ETL tools. So Informatica's PowerCenter is the tool which gets connected to your data sources, which can be an RDBMS, DBMS, or cloud storage, or Hadoop, HDFS, or anything. So any of the, or you can also get connected to a website, right? Any of the sources. So Informatica's PowerCenter is the tool which can help you get connected to your data and fetch it. If you want a specific set of data, you can fetch that specific chunk of data and subsequently process it based on your conditions or queries. Now proceeding to the second question. How can you filter data in Informatica? Right, as discussed before, if you have a large volume of data and you're supposed to extract a small chunk of that particular data, let's say you have 10 years of data in your Amazon AWS cloud storage and you got connected to that particular cloud storage and you are told to extract the sales data from the last 2 years so that you can plan your sales marketing for the next quarter, right? So that now you need to filter the 10 years of data. That's when you apply a filter on Informatica, right? So how can you do it? That's the question. So the answer is you can filter the data in Informatica using informatic transformation. There are two types of filters in Informatica, namely source qualifier transformation and filter transformation. So informatics transformation is the filter which you can apply on your data and filter out your data in Informatica. Basically, filter can be applied on any of the data sources, but when it comes to specifically Informatica, what is that? What do you name it, right? What do you call it? So that is called informatics transformation. Proceeding to the third question. How many repositories can you create in Informatica Workflow Manager? So the answer for this question is, depending upon the number of ports that are required, repositories can be created. In general, however, there can be any number of repositories. So let's say you got connected to a data source and you are extracting the data. Let's say you used 5 plugins or you used 5 ports to extract the data. Then you will create that many number of repositories in your Informatica, right? So in your Informatica Workflow Manager, based on the number of ports or plugins you're using, those many number of repositories will be created. That is the solution for this question. Proceeding to the fourth question. Mention the lookup transformation in Informatica. You might be wondering, lookup. Can you use lookup transformation in Informatica? Yes. So the lookup transformations in Informatica that you typically use are very high. There are large number of transformations, lookup transformations. But the major 4 that your interviewer will be expecting from you are filter file lookup, pipeline lookup, connected lookup, cached lookup. Because these 4 to 5 lookups are majorly used in the real time. So these are the lookups which you have to inform to your interviewer during the interview. Now the next question. Can you tell me about pre-session and post-session? So what exactly is pre-session and post-session is the question. So the answer is command task can be called as pre-session or post-session command for session task. User can run a pre-session command, a post-session success command, or a post-session failure command based on use cases. The application of shell commands can be changed or altered. So any of the command which you are giving to your Informatica before data processing is called as pre-session. And any of the output that Informatica is giving you, whether it is a failure of task given or a success of task given, that particular information from Informatica is called as post-session. Right? Now let's continue with the next question. What is incremental aggregation? So the answer for this question is basically incremental aggregation is the process of capturing changes in the sources and calculating aggregations in a session. This process incrementally makes the integration service update targets and avoids the process of calculating aggregations on the entire source. Now proceeding with the answer. Basically, whenever you calculate some data, let's say this particular calculation or mathematical operation what you have provided has steps, right? So in the middle it will store some intermediate data, or let's say there are some changes in the intermediate results and the final figure will also depend on the intermediate results. Then that particular updates what Informatica is applying onto your data calculation is called as incremental aggregation. Now the next question, can you delete duplicates or duplicate entries in flat files? So this is something for an experienced candidate. So the answer is we can delete rows or duplicate rows from flat files by leveraging the sorter transformation and selecting the distinct option. Selecting this option will delete the duplicate rows. What are the types of OLAP? The answer for this question is there are three types of OLAPs. First are OLAP, that is relational OLAP, and M OLAP, that is multi-dimensional OLAP, and H OLAP, that is hybrid OLAP. Now the next question, what is target designer? Target designer in Informatica allows us to create target tables and modify the pre-existing target definitions. Target definitions can be imported by various sources including flash file, repeat, various sources including flat files, relational databases, XML definitions, Excel worksheets, etc. Now the 10th question. What is a junk dimension? Junk dimension are structures that consist of a group of junk attributes such as random codes or flags. They form a framework to store related codes in respect to a specific dimension in a single place instead of creating multiple tables for the same. Now, the 11th question. What is the use of rank transformation? The answer is rank transformation is used to sort and rank a set of records from top or from the bottom. It is also used to select data with largest or smallest number based on specific codes. Let's say you have student data. In student data, you have percentage. So based on percentage, somebody will ask you to sort the sheet. You can use sort function basically, right? Which can be in ascending order, which will definitely give you the top rank to the last rank. Similarly, rank transformation is similar to that kind of sorting. Let's say you have the data in Informatica and somebody asks you to sort it. So applying rank transformation, you can sort the data. That is the solution. Now the 12th question. What is a sequence generator transformation? So the answer for this question is sequence generator transformation is responsible for the generation of primary keys or a sequence of numbers for calculating or processing. It has two output ports that can be connected to numerous transformations within a maplet. These ports are called next val and current val. The 13th question. What is the use of initcap function? The answer is initcap function capitalizes the first character of each word in a string and converts all other characters to lowercase. So as simple as that. Let's say you have some data based on name and you have to convert it into sentence case where each, or not sentence case, like you want to capitalize the first and last name initial letters. You can apply initial cap or init cap and it will do the task for you. Now the next question. What is enterprise data warehousing? The answer to this question is enterprise data warehousing is a process of collecting, organizing, and managing large volumes of data from various sources within an organization in a central repository called a data warehouse. When the data of an organization is developed in a single point of access, it is known as enterprise data warehousing. So as simple as that, when you are working on enterprise level data, whatever the data you are collecting from the enterprise is stored into a warehouse, and that particular warehousing or that particular process of applying some queries on your data and extracting the required information is called as enterprise data warehousing. Whatever the data warehousing process is happening on an enterprise level can be termed as the enterprise data warehousing, and it should be having more than one single point of access. Now, the 15th question. What is the importance between repository server and powerhouse? Right. So both Informatica Powerhouse and a repository server offer same functionality, but what is the main difference between them? A repository server mainly guarantees repository reliability and uniformity, while the Informatica Powerhouse server tackles the execution of many procedures between the factors of server database and repository. Now the 16th question. What is ETL? So this is as simple as that. This is basically a beginner's question. E stands for extract, T stands for transform, L stands for load. The ETL process involves extracting, transforming, and loading data from different databases into a target database or file. Now the 17th question. What is Informatica PowerCenter? ETL tools such as Informatica PowerCenter enable data integration, that is, combining data from different sources into a single dataset. In order to build enterprise data warehouses, it provides the ability to extract, transform, and load data from heterogeneous OLTP, that is online transaction processing sources systems. Now the 18th question. How many number of parameters will you add to an unconnected lookup? An unconnected lookup can include numerous parameters. No matter how many parameters you are entering, the return value will always be 1. You can, for instance, put parameters in an unconnected lookup such as column 1, column 2, and up to column 4, but always you'll have one particular return value. So this particular question will be for intermediate candidates. So when you are performing an unconnected lookup, how many number of lookup parameters can you send? So for example, if you consider Excel lookup, you will be providing some parameters, that is the column in which you are fetching the data, or the range of data you are looking for, and which row, which column, everything, right? And perfect match or exact match, that those many parameters you will be transferring in a lookup function, but but in an unconnected lookup in Informatica, how many number of parameters will be sending? That is the question. So the answer is you can send any number of parameters. That is the answer. And however, the answer what lookup function sends you will always be 1. That is the answer. Now the 19th question. How can you name a few output files created by Informatica server in runtime? The answer for this question is Informatica server log, session detail file, performance detail file, reject file, control file, post session email, indicator file, output file, and cache file. So you can answer any 5 from out of these. So proceeding to the 20th question. Can you elaborate on data-driven sessions? So the answer is, in Informatica server, data-driven properties determine how the data should be treated when an update strategy transformation is used for mapping. When using an update strategy transformation, it must be specified whether you want DD update, constant for updating the record, or DD insert, that is constant for inserting record, or DD delete, which is constant for deleting record. It is possible for mapping to contain more than one update strategy transformation. Now, 21st. What is target order load? The answer for this question is target order load is referred to as target load plan. It is generally used to specify the order in which target tables are loaded by an integration server. Based on the source qualifier transformations, you can specify a target load order. In Informatica, you can specify the order in which data is loaded into targets when there are multiple source qualifier transformations connected to multiple targets. Now, the 22nd question. What is repository manager? The answer is, a repository manager is an administrative tool used to administer and manage repository folders, objects, groups, etc. A repository manager provides a way to navigate through multiple folders and repositories, as well as manage groups and user permissions. 23rd question. What is domain in Informatica? PowerCenter services are administered and managed by Informatica domain. It consists of nodes and services. Each relationship and node are categorized according to the administration requirements into special folders or subfolders. The 24th question. Can you tell me when Informatica server rejects your file? Servers reject your files when they encounter rejections in the update strategy transformation. Data and information in a database can get disrupted. As you can see, this is a rare scenario or situation. 25th question. What is a surrogate? Surrogate key, also referred to as artificial keys or identity keys, are system-generated identifiers used to uniquely identify each and every record in the dimension table. As a replacement for the natural primary key, the surrogate key makes updating the table easier. Also, it serves as a method for preserving historical information in a slowly changing dimension. Proceeding ahead, we have the 26th question. Can you mention some lookup caches? The answer is static cache, dynamic cache, persistent cache, shared cache, and reached cache. 27th one, what is tracing level? In Informatica, tracing levels determine how much data you can write into a session log as you execute a work. Informatica's tracing level is very important component as it aids in error analysis, locates bugs in processes, and can set up for every transformation. Each transformation property window contains an option for tracing level. Now proceeding ahead, we have the 28th question. What exactly is DTM? PowerCenter Integration Service or PCIS started as operating system process known as DTM or Data Transformation Manager or PMDTM process to run sessions. Its primary role is creating and managing threads responsible for carrying out session tasks. Now the 29th question. What is complex mapping? When a mapping contains a lot of requirements which are based on too many dependencies, it is considered as complex. Even with just few transformations, a mapping can be complex. It does not need hundreds of transformations. When the business requirement has a lot, repeat. When the requirement has a lot of business requirements and constraints, mapping becomes complex. Complex mapping also encompasses slowly changing dimensions. Now, the 30th question. What is the importance of partition session? Parallel data processing improves the performance of PowerCenter in Informatica PowerCenter partitioning option. With the partitioning option, a large dataset can be divided into smaller parts that can be processed in parallel, which improves overall performance. In addition to optimizing sessions, it helps improve server performance and efficiency. Now proceeding into the 31st question, what is a star schema? The star schema comprises of one or more dimensions and one fact table and is considered as the simplest data warehouse schema. It is also called because it's like star shape with radial points radiating from the center. A fact table is at the core of the star and dimension tables are at the points. The approach is most commonly used to build data warehouses and dimensional data marts. Now the 32nd question. What is dimension in informatics? Dimension tables are tables in star schema of data warehouse that contain keys, values, and attributes of dimension. A dimension table generally contains the description or textual information about the facts contained within a fact table. Now the 33rd question. Can you tell me if sorter is an active or passive transformation? A sorter can be considered as an active transformation because it removes the duplicates from the key and consecutively changes the number of rows. Now the 34th question. What are the different types of groups in router transformation? The answer is input group, output group, and default group. Now last question in our set, that is what is the use of source qualifier? The source qualifier transformation is an active connected transformation used to represent the rules that the integration service reads when it runs a session. You need to connect the source qualifier transformation to the relational or flat file definition in a mapping. The source qualifier transformation converts the source data types to the Informatica native data types. So you should not alter the data types of the codes in the source qualifier transformation. Now with that, we have come to the end of this list of top 35 interview questions for cracking your interview. So these particular questions were segregated for all the types of candidates, whether you are an experienced candidate. So having the top 35 questions discussed, we will now reach to the icing on top of the cake. That is the most important tips and tricks that you need to have under your sleeve to crack your future Informatica interview in one shot. So the tips begin with the first one. Review the basics. Make sure you have a strong understanding of the Informatica architecture, components, and terminology. Familiarize yourself with concepts such as sources, targets, and transformations, mapping, sessions, and workflows. Now, the second one, hands-on practice. Gain practical experience by working on real-time data scenarios and projects. This will not only reinforce your knowledge but also give you confidence in answering your interview questions. Third one, master Informatica PowerCenter. Focus on PowerCenter as it is the most widely used Informatica product. Ensure you have a good understanding of PowerCenter Designer, Workflow Manager, Workflow Monitor, and Repository Manager. Fourth one, understand data ingestion concepts. Familiarize yourself with data ingestion concepts such as data warehousing, ETL, that is extract, transform, load, process, and data quality, data profiling, and data governance. Be prepared to discuss these concepts and how Informatica facilitates them. The fifth one, know the transformations. Study and practice different Informatica transformations such as source qualifier, expression aggregator, joiner, lookup, router, and filter. Understand the functionalities, properties, and usage scenarios. Now, the sixth one, prepare for performance optimization. Be ready to discuss techniques for optimizing Informatica workflows such as session partitioning, pushdown optimization, and indexing strategies. Understand how to tune mapping and transformations for better performance. Proceeding ahead, we have this seventh one. Brush up your SQL and database concepts. Informatica works closely with databases, so having a good understanding of SQL queries, joins, indexing, and database concepts will be beneficial. The eighth point, stay updated on Informatica features and advancements. Be aware of the latest features, enhancements, and industry trends in Informatica. Stay updated with new releases, product roadmaps, and Informatica role in cloud-based data integrations. Ninth one, be confident and communicate effectively. During the interview, be confident in your knowledge and express answers clearly. Practice explaining complex concepts in a single and concise manner. Effective communication is the key to showcasing your expertise. The last and important one, practice interview questions. Review common Informatica interview questions and prepare well thought out answers. Practice mock interviews with a friend or a mentor to stimulate the interview experience. Remember, while these steps can help you prepare, it's essential to adapt your answers to your own experience and understanding of Informatica. Demonstrating your practical skills and problem solving abilities will greatly increase your chances of cracking the interview. With that, we have come to an end of this session on Informatica interview questions and tips to crack your interview in the first go. And if you have any queries regarding any of the topics covered in this session, or if you require any of the resources used in this session, like the PPT or the questions discussed, then do let us know in the comment section below, and our team of experts will be more than happy to resolve all your queries at the earliest. And also, if you want to help the channel and the community and our viewers with your input, then please feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and we will reach out to you at the earliest. And until next time, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more from Technology.